Yo, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Salvation Elite. We're back with another video, guys, and today, man, we're talking about CDL London as a whole. The first actual tournament of the Call of Duty League in its history went down this weekend, and we're breaking down the results. The Huntsmen sent a message this weekend. I mean, we learned a ton about all the teams, so we've got a lot to talk about in the video. Let's get into it. So we're gonna focus mostly on the second day in this video, the Sunday games in this video, because on Saturday night, I put out a video about the day one games, the Saturday games. So if you want a deep breakdown of the first day and the first games, go watch that video and then come back and watch this one. Heading into this event, we had a lot of questions to be answered, and we got a lot of answers for our questions throughout the weekend. But all the questions on Sunday revolved around the single elimination bracket and who would finish top 4. So let's go through a summary of some of the matches, and then we can talk big picture about what we learned about this event near the end of the video. So the first match of Sunday was Seattle versus LA Guerillas, and whoever would win this match would go play Dallas later in the day. And it took a reverse sweep from Seattle to beat the LA Guerillas. The Guerillas are an interesting case because they had played the Huntsmen the day before. It wasn't that close of a series. It was a 3-0. I mean, you don't expect it to be close when you're playing the Huntsmen. The domination was actually close in itself, but the hard points and destroy the Huntsmen had handled pretty easily. You know, we weren't sure where the Guerillas were at. This match was really important to give us more information about where the Guerillas potentially could be. And they came out shooting on all cylinders early on. I mean, they won the hard point, and then they went to search and destroy, came down to round 11, and they clutched up in the round 11 to take a 2-0 lead in the series. But Seattle came roaring back, kind of making a statement both in domination and a hard point. And then the search and destroy on Petro came down to round 11 as well. So I mean, we really had a lot of crazy round 11s over the weekend, and this was just another example of that. So let's just watch that clip real quick.
Shut down slacked. 3 versus 3, minute 16 to go. Seattle had all site control, and Lacefield says no.
He's doing what he wants, but App is there for the shutdown. App up top with control.
And he's so weak as well, he had to just value his life. No teammates in for a trade. Now it's Decimate and Aches. The 2 versus 3. A huge chance as Decimate plants the bomb. Seattle have to retake, and Decimate shuts down Enable. Uh-oh, 2v2. Abezy shut down as well. Octane gets it. He finds the kill on Aches, and finally, Seattle Surge win a search and destroy.
But yeah, Seattle clutched up to make it happen, reverse swept the Guerillas, and moved on to play Dallas. Man, we're going to talk more about them in the Dallas matchup, but like Octane looked so freaking good in this series throughout all the maps. Even the maps that they lost, Octane looked good. It's unfortunate that they're not shooting on all cylinders as a team right now, but Octane is still absolutely feeling it, and it's still disgusting as always. Then the next match was the Paris versus the Toronto Ultra match, where the winner of this match would go on to play New York, and Paris came to play. They really showed up. For some reason, they got caught in that first hard point, and they lost to Toronto on Gunrunner, but after that, they handily took the next 3 matches, and map 4 hardpoint was nearly a 100-point club performance, so they were just on fire. So next up, we got the Dallas versus Seattle match, and once again, Octane showed up and showed out. He dominated the whole series, but it was not enough for Seattle. They ended up losing 3-1, and Dallas just looked really good. It just sucks for Dallas because, again, we're going to talk about them more in a second. They played 2 more matches in the day, so we'll talk about them more in a second. But like for Seattle, man, this knocked them out of the tournament, and one of my favorite moments of the whole day was right before the grand finals. Karma gave a little interview and gave a good breakdown of his team. He probably was a little tipsy because he was definitely feeling it and in a really, really good mood, but I just thought it was a hilarious interview and a really good interview and a really honest interview from Karma, so let's watch it.
Did we win a search versus Dallas? Almost.
You almost did.
We almost did.
You're up 5-2.
And we are very bad at search.
I wouldn't say you're very bad. You're getting there.
Well, we were getting there, but
I think you guys have the
I don't
most
know. I would
round
say
wins,
Chicago, but I think Chicago will win, and if not, well, maybe we're better than we think.
Before you go, I want to know one thing just before you go. Can we see you guys improve and come through this season hotter than ever?
Us? Well, we have a lot to figure out. Our respawns are 50-50. We're really good at domination, though, 4-1. Our S&D, well, we finally won an S&D, but everything else, I don't know. We're really 50-50 right now, but that's kind of why I think Chicago will win, because we almost took Dallas in the first one. The second one, I say, was not as close as the first one. So I don't know. I think Chicago is just a stronger team overall.
Love it. Do you know what, Karma? I can't wait to see you guys back again. Let's go.
So yeah, man, he wasn't holding back. He was just telling the straight facts, the truth. And that's kind of where Seattle's at right now. They have a lot to work out, and we know Octane's incredible. We know Karma's good. We know Apathy is solid. Right now, the question marks for them are Enable and Slacked. Slacked had a bounce back event from before. Enable was up and down, not great throughout the weekend. So there's definitely some question marks there with right now with Enable and Slacked and how they're working together as a roster. And Karma definitely showed that in the interview. This wasn't the worst case scenario for them. There was a world where they went 0-2 and got knocked out immediately. But they play so many maps so close. It seems like even in their big matches against Dallas or last weekend, they only lose in close maps for the most part. They rarely get blown out. His Octane slaying power and ability to control maps and play OBJ keeps them inside of matches, but they're just never able to capitalize and overcome at the end of the map to get the points they need to win. There just needs to be a lot of tweaks and changes there with Seattle before they're going to be an elite team. So the next match was a rematch between New York and Paris after Paris had beat Toronto. And this was really surprising. New York beat Paris 3-1 in the first match of this event on Saturday. And overall, New York looked really solid in that matchup, dominating the search and destroy, dominating the fourth hardpoint. They lost the gunrunner domination. And in this match, I really thought New York was going to win. And Paris said, not today, and just smacked them with the hot 3-0. Specifically in the search and destroy, they played Ramaza both matches. In the first series, New York won 6-1. And then the second series, Paris wins 6-0. That's the craziness of competitive Call of Duty. Strats make all the difference. Understanding your opponent makes all the difference. They played Ramaza, and then Gunrunner. And Paris looked pretty much in control. I mean, in the respawn game modes, both were really close. And just Kismet just looked really good overall. And Paris is definitely a threat. We're going to talk about them more in a second because they end up playing the Huntsman because they win this series 3-0. It was just an impressive showing from Paris and a really disappointing showing from New York, which we're going to definitely have to talk about them more in the coming 2 weeks. So that set up the semifinals. We had London versus Dallas and the Huntsman versus Paris. And both matches were really good. So this London and Dallas series was just neck and neck. These teams are definitely really comparable. Ramaza hardpoint came down 250 to 242. Shotzzy really struggled in this match, and he overall had a comeback tournament in a lot of ways. I mean, it was by no means great, but it was not garbage like it was in Minnesota where he just got smoked in their 2 matches. This was good to see that he was kind of bouncing back a little bit, but this was not his brightest moment of the weekend. He got wrecked on Ramaza. Then in the search and destroy, it was round 11 on Gunrunner. Why talk about it when we can show you guys the round 11? So let's just watch it real quick.
Dylan makes the kill on the flank. And now he's going to backtrack here. 5v4. Bomb is down. Jude's going to find himself in trouble. Hugh finds one, but Scraps answers back. And in a round 11, it's all up to the new kids on the block. Shotzzy and Illy versus Dylan, Rated, and Jerd. It's now a 2v2. Shotzzy and Illy, they're pulling it out the back, it seems, and out of nowhere, Dallas have the advantage.
Well, if there's anyone you want in the 2v2, it's going to be those two, the search and destroy wizards. Jerd finds Illy. Now it's a 2v1. Shotzzy, deep breath. His dead silence has worn off. Now he's going to be sitting there tight. Jerd, though, is on top of the bomb. The timing! Rated! Rated, the guardian angel!
Tick-tock, the bomb is defused.
But yeah, man, the search and destroy was just back and forth the whole time. A really good map. Man, the London Royal Ravens just took it just at the end. The crowd was crazy, but they wouldn't be crazy for too long as Dallas started working on their reverse sweep. In comes Hackney Dom, and apparently Dallas is just nasty at Hackney Dom. I don't know. I'm gonna have to dive into that a little bit more, but so far we've seen Dallas play really well on Hackney, and I wouldn't be surprised if teams start banning it against them in the future because they've been looking really nice on the map as a whole. They won that 211 to 162, pretty dominant performance. And then moving on to Hackney Hardpoint, again, Dallas looked really good. They controlled the map for the most part as a whole, won 250 to 195. And then we head to Search and Destroy Game 5 on Piccadilly. Let's just watch it. Let's check it out.
Over A, Empire R. Right in through goes Jerd. Hip fire, not able to get anything done. Clay's there. We'll get the first blood. Hugh finds a second and Rated with a sniper, and it's starting to look a little bit dangerous now as London have got to slow down. Dallas can keep this pressure up. As the aggression is paying off, it comes down to Scraps and Dylan. Now it's all on Dylan. It has been a flawless round from the Dallas Empire here in the final moments of this game. Can Dylan do this? He is all alone, and it is done.
Oh, baby. Clayster was on fire, and at the end, even the crowd gave him a little reminder where they were and who they were.
He is all alone, and it is done. It was flawless. Dallas will win the clean search and destroy round. You see London has fallen. What a way to go.
I love that type of stuff in the CoD League. I know some people think it's toxic or don't like Clay because of it, but I don't care who's doing the smack talk. I want to see it on the stage, and them taunting the crowd like that was just awesome. Embracing the villain role while on the road was really, really fun. Overall for Dallas, for the most part, throughout the weekend, up until one of the maps in the finals, Crim and Clay show up basically every single map, and then the inconsistencies come from Hook, Illy, and Shotzi. I mean, makes sense. Obviously, Dallas needs them to be more consistent and play better as a whole than they have been if they want to reach a new tier. And for London, in that domination, wow. Scraps and Dylan got absolutely shut down, which was crazy. Over double negative for both of them, which is shocking for guys of their caliber. Overall, Dallas fought back, played a fantastic domination, hardpoint, and search and destroy to complete the reverse sweep in epic fashion, which sent them to the grand finals to face off against either the Huntsmen or Paris, which this series was shocking. It didn't go at all how I saw it going. In crazy fashion, in 5 games, the Huntsmen knocked out Paris on Arklov and search and destroy, which we'll talk about in a second. But the craziest thing is that Paris took both hardpoints off the Huntsman, which is absolutely nuts. I didn't think any team would take a hard point off the Huntsman throughout the whole weekend, and then out comes Paris and does it twice in one series. I mean, the first one wasn't as shocking as the second one because the Huntsmen were coming in cold. They hadn't played a match that day where Paris had already played 2. Paris was already in that mode, which, you know, there's debate whether or not that matters that much, but it seemed like it mattered, and the Huntsmen came out really flat. But once it came to game 4, I was like, all right, well, okay, the Huntsmen, now they're in the flow, they're up 2-1, they're going to come out and take this hard point, and they didn't. They lost. The thing is, Paris runs an interesting strat on Hackney hardpoint. They run 2 ARs, and that really worked for them. Luca was able to dominate the lines aside on the map, play those angles, and really anchor well. And then Dens kind of used the Octane strategy with playing the objective with the M4, and it really, really worked for him. And Paris looked really good on Hackney hardpoint. And then in the Gunrunner hardpoint, this time Dens went off with the OBJ power. He went over double positive. He had over a 2 KD and absolutely fried on the map. Again, those ARs were playing really, really well and working for him throughout the whole series, and it forced a search and destroy game 5 for Huntsman to go to the grand finals, and they took care of business. A hot, like smoking hot 6-0 on Arklov to send him to the grand finals. It was really surprising that it took that much effort or that much work to get there over Paris. Paris put on a really impressive performance and definitely moves them up the power rankings, which we'll be talking about on the Best 3 podcast, which is coming out tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Be on the lookout because it's going to be a good episode. We're going to be breaking down the whole series, talking about our MVPs and some of the other individual player performances. Yeah, just be on the lookout for that because it's coming out Tuesday night. Sorry about the plug, but with the grand finals now, Huntsman versus Dallas for the 3rd time already this year in 2 events. We get to see these teams face off, and the Huntsman came to play. Remember, this is single elimination, which is really, really exciting and really cool, which made the semifinals incredibly fun, and I'm gonna really be excited about watching these coming up in the next few months. So obviously in the previous matchups, the Huntsmen took both of them. Going into this grand finals, they were definitely the favorites. But what's interesting, it was the map set that we were playing on. The first one was Azhir Cave, which isn't that crazy. We saw them play that in Minnesota, but they were also rematching on Arklov Peak, which is where Dallas dominated the Huntsmen 6-1 in their first meeting. And then we were playing a St. Petro domination. Generally, you know, Petro's not that often picked for domination, and so it was going to be interesting to see how that was going to play out. And wow, it definitely lived up to the hype. So the hard point was pretty close. I mean, it was like 250 to 239, and it came down. The difference was the Huntsman's ability to break hills multiple times. Empire was able to secure the beginning first few seconds, and then in come the Huntsmen, trading kills, smoking, creating chaos, and outgunning the SMGs on Dallas, which 100% was the X factor. Cave in itself is hard enough to play, and breaking those hills can be incredibly difficult, but overall, the Huntsmen are just really, really good at it, which was why it was so surprising that they even lost a hard point against Paris, let alone 2. And overall, they played a good map against Empire and definitely deserved to win. Heading into map 2, though, Arklov, my goodness. It came down to a round 11 once again, just like their meeting the day before went down to round 11 on Piccadilly. This one went down to round 11 on Arklov. We love our round 11s around here. Let's check it out.
Shotzi from this position that really was the game changer. What, 1 round Shotzi, 1 round Crim, where they were able to pick
Is Clay
Scump.
gonna get that kill? Is Clay gonna get this kill on Envoy? Does he spot him? Just spots him. All right, this is gonna open things up.
Crim gets a snipe too.
Yeah, he picks up the snipe. Now, what are they gonna rotate off of? Okay, so they find Clay, they isolate him. but right off that, they know that there's an opening. They're going to go for the bomb plant. So it's a 3v3 Chicago. Have to retake this.
Shotzzy looks to back away. Back to the superstar and Gunless as he starts to work up the side time against him, but it's FormaL on the flank. He's able to take one with him before he drops. Hook's got dead silence pop. Here goes Gunless. He finds the angle. They work together. They're able to take him down. It's all onto Crimsix in the back. 25 seconds on the clock. Crim is going to have to hit a shot. They haven't hopped it yet. And he's got to be terrified. They're already on it. Now Gunless hops it. He's on the bomb. He's got to try and get the wall again, but Scump's got the angle. Scump's got the angle. Crimsix drops in the round 11 to Huntsman.
Yep, the Huntsman clutched up 6-5. Scump played a fantastic search and destroy. He was really good in search all weekend long. And of course, the Huntsman as a whole really improved in search and destroy. It was probably it was debatably their weakest game mode coming out of Minnesota, and they look fantastic in search throughout the weekend. So that's really good sign if you're a Huntsman fan. And man, it really hurts for Dallas, guys, because search was the map they needed to win. You can't be going down 0-2 to the Huntsman. You're just not gonna happen. And let alone Dallas felt like they probably had the leg up in the search and destroy category, and it all came crumbling down in that round 11 for them, which basically in my mind was like already putting the nail in the coffin for this series. And then we went to Petro domination, and it was exactly that, domination from Huntsman, 193 to 156. Dallas played a good first half actually, but it all came crumbling down in the second half. The Huntsman flipped the spawns to get that C flag, and once you get the C flag on Petro, it's just so hard to retake and then like hold after the retake. And unfortunately for Crim, he had his worst map of the year so far. He went 14 and 31 on that map. Again, Petro isn't a map that I feel like Dallas should be playing. They don't seem like they really understand it that well. They're not good at Dom on that map for sure, and they got absolutely smoked by the Huntsmen moving forward. I think Dallas will be fine. I really do think Dallas is a good team. They played the toughest schedule by far. I mean, my goodness, they played the Huntsmen 3 times. They played Faze once. Like, no one's come close to that type of a schedule. Shotzzy looks better and better. He seems like he's improving slowly but surely. And hopefully in the next few weeks, Shotzzy can really find his groove and that team will really start clicking again and look fantastic like they did in the preseason. And for the Huntsmen, man, this was another statement to show that they 100% guaranteed are a top 2 team, which of course will be decided at Atlanta when both the Huntsmen and Faze will be there. It's going to be a really, really good series. It's going to be a really, really good event. I mean, the Huntsman's roster as a whole is so scary. All 5 of them can go off at any moment. Envoy, Scump, Gunless, RCDs, FormaL, whoever you need it to be, they can take over when they need to take over. RCDs had some crazy moments throughout this event, like specifically the turn on in the Paris series. Oh my goodness. What? This dude, nasty.
He can hear these players. He knows there's at least one, if not more, nearby. They fly out for the challenge. You gotta get the kill, though.
No!
Arcides is gonna ruin him.
Arcides, he has a family, my friend.
Or like Scump's performance in Search and Destroy, or Envoy's performance in Hardpoint the day before, or Gunless's clutch in Search and Destroy. You know, literally any of them can go off and dominate at any moment, which makes their roster incredibly dangerous. And so I just cannot wait to see them play Faze at Atlanta in the next event. It's going to be insane. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this breakdown. Again, we're going to be going even more in depth on the Best of 3 CoD Esports podcast coming out Tuesday night. So be on the lookout for that. But as always, guys, I really do appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. And as always, I'm your boy, Cellium, and we'll see you next time. I'm out.